again, with the lack of a better phrasing, what is happening in Europe?
Well, generally speaking, we see that many governments in Europe really want an end of this war, as if Israel was enjoying this war. I mean, I think most Israelis also want the war to end, but, with a victory against Hamas and, of course, the liberation of all our hostages. But there is basically a group of countries that have been leading this diplomatic offensive. Well, that is mostly Emmanuel Macron, who made this as he had committed, as he had announced that he would recognize a Palestinian state at the UN General Assembly, which he did yesterday or 2 days ago. And then, of course, you have those very outrageous and aggressive statements from the Spanish Prime Minister, who's really going off board. And lately, I would say what was really surprising and disappointing was also the generally very supportive Italian Prime Minister, Giorgia Meloni, who said that she would actually join a vote on sanctions on Israel at the European Council. I think this was unexpected and definitely very disappointing.
So before we move on to who is benefiting out of this focus and what is happening here in the Middle East when we're talking about the European territory, for many years, Dr. Navon, there were those who insisted that anti-Zionist notions and anti-Semitic notions are two separate things. And again, looking at what is currently unfolding, we're compelled to ask the horrific question, is Europe no longer safe for Jews, for Israelis?
Well, we have to differentiate between different European countries. When it comes to Jewish communities in Europe, we know, generally speaking, that it is becoming increasingly toxic and unsafe in France, in Belgium, in the UK, and also in Sweden. It is very different in Eastern Europe, by the way, which is kind of an irony because Eastern Europe is where most Jews were massacred during the Holocaust. But today, the Jewish communities and traveling Israelis in countries such as the Czech Republic or Hungary or Poland are much safer than they are in Western Europe. And then there's the general European attitude towards Israel, which is also very much influenced when it comes to certain governments such as Britain, France, and others, very much influenced by their own growing Muslim populations. That has an impact on politicians who need to be elected and re-elected.